Age-related macular degeneration affects the dark area of the retina shown here, known as the macula. There are two types of AMD, dry and wet. There is also an advanced dry form called geographic atrophy. The dry is caused by the accumulation of debris called drusen, which first builds up in one eye. Usually both eyes can develop the disease. The dry form of age-related macular degeneration may turn into the more serious wet form, characterized by the creation of many new blood vessels and bleeding in the macula. The advanced wet and dry types of the disease lead to the gradual loss of one's central vision, while peripheral vision remains intact. If you had AMD and were looking at this image, this is what you might see: a blurred center with more sharpness on the sides. The young man running along the southeastern coast of Ireland is Dr. John Nolan, vision scientist and Fulbright scholar, who with his team at the Waterford Institute of Technology is researching a promising nutritional supplement to help prevent age-related macular degeneration. Dr. Nolan's team of researchers is measuring the yellow protective macular pigment that is located in the central retina. Their study suggests that a lack of this pigment makes the photoreceptors vulnerable to blue light emitted by the sun and other day-to-day light sources, including computer screens. Oxidation to the photoreceptors occurs, causing debris called drusen to build up behind the retina. Drusen is one of the mechanisms that cause disruption of the normal barrier between the blood vessels and the retina, which leads to AMD. About 6 years ago, things began to look distorted on TV for Nora, and it got progressively worse.
My reading was all shot to pieces. It would be there for a little while, be gone, big holes in it. So I went to see the specialist. He told me what it was, AMD, and that I'd better start making arrangements about moving into the city, as living where I did, I needed a car. This was a situation that would deteriorate, and there was no way out of it.
In North America, 20 million people suffer from age-related macular degeneration, and this number is set to double in the next 10 years. The reason this is going to double is simply because we are living longer.
Nolan's Macular Pigment Research Group has studied a nutritional supplement composed of the carotenoids lutein, zeaxanthin, and mesozeaxanthin, which has shown remarkable success in increasing the protective yellow macular pigment. Phase 2 clinical trials are currently underway.
I did take it every single day, and about 3, maybe 6 months later, it began to dawn on me that the wavy lines were gone. Reading was much easier. A lot of the problems were going away, and it's so much more improved that I'm happy.
Nora has now her independence back, is now back driving, and is now back visiting her loved ones, and she feels that she's got a second chance, and she so much appreciates her vision. And when you see people like Nora and what it means to them, and having this taken away from them and then restored, it's only then you can get a concept of the importance and the greatness that these nutritional supplements have been for Nora.
I value my independence, and I have it back now. Hopefully it'll last.
Now we're going to measure your macular pigment. So what I want
About 10 years ago, Harry Marsland received his diagnosis. He returns to the Institute for periodic checkups, utilizing special equipment designed by the Institute to measure the amount of the yellow protective pigment in his eyes.
We can measure how an individual responds to these supplements at the retina very quickly. We can measure how their vision changes and improves because of taking these supplements. And we've also seen now that individuals at increased risk of progressing have halted the disease.
I started taking the macular supplement in May 2007. At that time I was using this magnifying glass to read virtually anything. 3 years ago, this was the smallest size of letter I could read, with or without spectacles. I then started taking a pigment-based supplement, and within 9 to 10 months my vision had improved. I can now use the computer without having to use large print on the screen. I can read my professional periodicals without any difficulty. I can walk through the fields and the countryside without having to use paved paths. We've now got hope that sight can be restored, and macular pigment supplementation is the root of that hope. Things have just turned around completely for me.
The promise of nutritional supplements has been realized already to some degree, and that's the AREDS trial, where they give vitamins and antioxidants to patients with AMD and show that they have prolongation of their vision.
Regarding nutrition and eye disease, it's very well known and it's been shown that healthy habits, healthy foods, and supplements can delay the progression of macular degeneration. But not everyone will respond the same way, and so we need to be cautious about generalizing this association to everyone.